Hey, what is up, guys? So, it's been quite a while since I've done an unboxing or any other kind of review of that nature. So, this is it. August 2nd, Xbox One S has been released, and I picked mine up today. Now, you might also be saying, well, you already have an Xbox. You have your Xbox Day 1 edition. What about that? Did you trade it in? Did you do anything like that? And the answer is no. I did not trade it in. I'm actually going to keep it because here's my logic behind this. My Day 1 edition console is going to stay in, I guess you could call it my living room, but it's more for casual play, couch play, watching movies, TV, any of that kind of stuff, to where I don't want to sit in the chair, get up close on a monitor, 32 inches, or not 32, 28 inch. 32 inches is the next one I'm getting. Nothing too crazy big, but still decently sized. Yeah, and just sit in the chair and watch. But if I want to say, like, lounge around, drink some beers, eat some pizza, have people over, all that kind of stuff, then we will go over there to that console and play on that one. So the reasoning behind getting the Xbox One S for me is because it is smaller, it can stand vertically, and because it's 4K capable, I mean, not that I have a 4K monitor or TV, I mean, I'll get to the reasoning behind that in a second. But mostly because the size and the fact that it can stand vertically, I can actually take it and set it, hitting my mic over here, right next to my computer, and have that run into my computer and then out onto one of my monitors, so that I can actually stream my console games and make everything better from that. Now, you're going to say, well, you can stream from your console. Yes, but here's the thing. Streaming from my console to the router, quality isn't that great. I don't get my good overlays. I don't get any of that cool stuff, put the camera over here where it usually is and that kind of things, because there's just not that stuff built into Twitch yet. I mean, it would be fantastic if Twitch could be like, hey, upload your layout and all the kind of stuff that you use for broadcasting onto your profile in the way that you have it set up, so you have like a custom streaming profile set on Twitch, that when you use your Xbox, it feeds into that and allows everything to take place, like your followers to update, your alerts and all that kind of stuff pop up while you're streaming from your console. But that's just not there yet. And there's nothing going on with YouTube gaming streaming from Xbox or anything like that. I would like to see that coming soon, but because I want to use my overlays and everything else, it just makes sense to have an actual console dedicated strictly for streaming to Twitch and to Google right next to my computer, because it's a pain in the ass to take the big console that doesn't stand vertically, so I have to take it out from the entertainment center, unplug everything, reach behind, get all the cables, leave the Kinect if I'm not going to use it, and then haul it in here, get the box that I would usually put it on so that they can get airflow underneath, set it down because it can't go up on my workspace or anything because it's too big. So and then once I'm done with it and I don't want to leave it here, I could take it back out, plug it in, to watch movies or Netflix or put something on for my daughter or anything like that. So that's why the Xbox One S works for me. Now, when I was talking about 4K, the Xbox One S is 4K capable in 4K and 4K HDR. Now, HDR, if you don't know, it's high dynamic range, so you have better color depth, and it just looks better. Colors look better. If you've ever seen any HDR photos, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a wider spectrum of light that you can capture in HDR because it's a high dynamic range. You have a higher and larger range of light that you can capture or project. So it just makes everything look better, pretty much. And then why I don't have a 4K monitor yet, it's pretty simple. Granted, it's 4K capable, but there's nothing really being made right now in 4K. it's upscaling to 4K. It's upscaling into 4K HDR. As far as my understanding is, Gears of War 4 is being made for 4K. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know if it's not, it's going to be capable to be scaled to 4K HDR. And that being said, there's like movies. I mean, you can get a couple of them that are like for a 4K HD Blu-ray player that are made for 4K HDR 3D or even just 4K HDR. So the demand for 4K is not at a point to where it is necessary for me, because upscaling, I mean, you got to think about it. When we went from standard definition to high definition, so we went from, normal to 1080, it was all upscale to begin with. And it was okay. It was all right. And then once you got full, true high definition, it was fantastic. So that's where I'm at right now with that. I have the console. It can do it. That's good. I'm already almost there. But the other thing is that when demand for 4K actually comes into play, that's when I'm going to get the monitor. That's when I'm going to get the TV, because when that actually does happen, everything else will have dropped in price. So that's my reasoning behind that. But that's enough of my jargon and what I'm waiting on and what I'm doing. Primary factor was I got the Xbox One S to put directly next to my console so that I have the access of console streaming immediately right here without having to move the other big fucking thing. So now we're going to get to the actual console. I've got it right here. I went to the Microsoft store to get it because, frankly, I'm kind of done with GameStop. They didn't even have any like trade deals, and their trade deals are kind of bull. I used to work for GameStop, so like 2 days. Actually, no, I called them yesterday to see what trade deals they were doing, and like 2 days before, they were doing like trade in select games, and you'll get a certain amount of money back more, and trade in like a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox 360 or even a regular Xbox One, and you can get extra back towards an Xbox One S. I mean, to be honest, trading stuff in at GameStop is alright if you just want to get it out of there quick and in a pinch, but their trade deals, they fucking suck. It's pretty much, they make all of their profit off resales, used games, used consoles anyways, so the amount of money that you're actually going to get back to the amount of money that they're actually going to make, I don't like it. I'm done with it. I'd rather just keep it, hang on to it, sell it later on, or pass it down, give it to someone who I know who would like one for like cheap, rather than go give it over there. And the whole thing is like GameStop too. Also, if you don't get enough pre-orders determine how many consoles they're going to get to sell on the fly. So if they don't get a lot of Xbox One pre-orders, they're not going to get a lot of extra Xbox One S's until demand for them becomes high. But Microsoft kind of shot him in the foot, I feel like, because they announced the Xbox One S, which was great for me, because I need it. It's good, it's small, it's nice. But for like the average consumer who's waiting to get into the Xbox market, or anyone else who's thinking about upgrading to a better console from their Xbox One, with the announcement of the Scorpio this holiday, or even beginning of next year, I doubt it's going to be this holiday. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like February or March of next year. But if they get it during the holiday, that's going to be great, because I'm going to get it as well. Get rid of the other Xbox for the Scorpio that's then going in the actual living room. Yeah, I kind of feel like they shot themselves in the foot with that, because now everyone's like, well, why would I need an Xbox One S if the Scorpio is going to be coming out later this year? So I feel like that could have been the reason why they didn't have that many in stock, because when I called, they said they probably only have enough for everyone who pre-ordered one. So then it's kind of like, that's where that comes into play. So I went to the Microsoft store, because I know for a fact that they were going to have them, and they were going to have them in stock. Now, the current deal right now for the Microsoft store, if you can get there, or even if you go online and order one, granted there's shipping, but I think there's like free shipping for this, which is nice. You can get the console, a game, a free game of It's out of a category of 4. You get a $50 gift card, and you get an extra normal Xbox One Black controller for free. So that was nice. I did actually thoroughly enjoy that. But, and here's the other thing, that you want to get it at the Microsoft Store instead of going to GameStop, is because GameStop's not doing any promotions. You don't get anything extra. You don't get the extra controller. You don't get a gift card. You don't get your choice of a select game. I mean, come on. You're getting a new console, and it's a day one launch console, so it was $399 regular, but I got $100 off because I got stuff going on that helps me out. So, definitely get it at the Microsoft Store if you can. And the store that I went to actually had a Vive demo, so that was cool. May have been one of the reasons why I got some money off, because I may have gotten a high score on something. But anyways, so, like I said, what I got with my console was I got an Xbox One controller for free with it. You know, the $60 controllers, I'll even show you. Still unopened, still got the seal on it. I'm probably going to pass it off to one of my buddies so he can take it apart and customize it for me. Get an actual Mastakaz gaming controller going to go with my plates for my Turtle Beaches. I don't know if I ever showed you guys that. If it focuses. Come on. Yeah. So, that's another thing I might be giving away or putting up on a store sale or something. And then you get your choice of a game. Now, they're not great games. I will tell you this. Some of them have actually been free on the Xbox Live Marketplace. You had your choice of The Crew, Just Dance, Watch Dogs, or Assassin's Creed Unity. So, as you know, The Crew last month was free on the Xbox Live Marketplace. Watch Dogs, I do believe was free at one point because I still have it on my console and I never rebought it. So, Assassin's Creed Unity, I know Black Flag was free for a little bit. I think maybe Unity was free at one point. It was kind of hit or miss with that one. And then Just Dance. As you can tell, they're all Ubisoft games, and they're all not their popular Ubisoft games either. Probably for that reason is why they were free. So I got Unity because my brother doesn't have it, so I'm going to give it to him. So that was the second thing I got. Now, you do get a $50 gift card to the Microsoft Store if you buy it at the Microsoft Store. Now, this is what I would say to do. Take that $50 gift card. If you're done with like disc games or anything like that, then I'll tell you what to do. But with that $50 gift card, you can, get a new webcam, or just shop around, get a mouse, get the wireless adapter for your computer, for the controllers, or anything else like that. So that's good. They're giving you money to keep and spend in the store to help out your gaming or anything like that. Now, this is what I did with it. I took that $50 because I'm done with discs for games. Unless it's a collector's edition, I'm not going to buy it on disc. I took it, and I got a live card. That's what I would say to do with it, because you're probably going to get more out of the live card than you would in the store unless you needed something in the store. So I'm going to use it on the marketplace. Now, here, also, you get a free bag, reusable bag. And it's one of their big ones, too. I love these bags. Alright, so now the console. Here it is. Nice, sleek, and white. So here's the front, and then you've got on your side, tells you what's all in it and everything else. You got the 2 terabyte hard drive, 4K video, 4K HDR. You can play 360 games. You get the console, stand, controller, What is that? One what? Oh yeah, the 1 year warranty, Wi-Fi, and an Ethernet cable. Standard stuff. And then on this side, you've got another picture, and then the back. So you've got, you know, Forza 6, Gears 4, Halo 5, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then some more stuff, descriptions as well. 2 terabyte, 4K console and stand control. Pretty standard. Now here's the interesting thing. I grabbed, because I still have it, because I do believe that eventually down the road, and I hope it's going to happen with the Scorpio, that if you bought a day one and you traded in for a Scorpio, you get like some cool discount or something else. So we're going to do a size comparison. Here is the 1S box. Okay? That was weird. And then here is the Xbox One Day 1 Edition console. Now you can tell, if I shift it all the way over the edge, the Xbox One S has a little bit more on the side. But as you can tell, the overhang is ridiculous just for like size and packaging. Look at that. So it may be a little bit longer, but it is significantly smaller. So I do believe that they packaged this thing extremely well. And now if you're probably saying, oh, it's not a day one edition. Yes. Day one edition. And my console has been going strong ever since that day. Knock on wood. Now we're going to actually open this guy up. So I need my knife. Where did I put it? And now I like getting special editions and limited editions, so we're going to use my limited edition Crane American Freedom knife. Because America, that's why. So it does have the 2 little tabby tabs up at the top. Nothing special. And then smells like success. Now, here's where it looks like all the extra room is right here. But we've got this guy here, which is, it's only got 2 flaps, because they usually come with like a big book, but here is your instruction manual. It tells you how to use the Xbox, what you can do with it, where you plug everything in, blah, blah, blah. This is fantastic. Seems like they saved paper. And it's easy. I can give this to my daughter. It's like a coloring book. So, over on this side, we'll actually set this down so that we can not mess with the focus so much. We have a box, 2 compartments, 3 holes, and what is inside this box, you might say? Well, we have one 4K HDR capable HDMI cable, very, very well wrapped and packed. We have the new extended range standard white Xbox One controller. Now, if you saw my review from when we did our Scuff versus Elite controller, you know that I love the Elite controller. I have one, but they say that this one has the farthest range. And I do believe that's because it is Bluetooth, whereas the Xbox One Elite controller is a Bluetooth IR infrared. So you get the precision of infrared, but you get the length and expansiveness of a Bluetooth connection. And I think this one is just using Bluetooth from what I talked to in the guy in the store, because I asked him as well, well, why would they just do Bluetooth when they're trying to catch up to the Elite or try and make this better than the Elite for range? Well, we got to talking about it and he said, yeah, it is a little bit weird, but if it's just Bluetooth, that's increased range. But the Elite is Bluetooth IR hybrid, so it has range, but precision. So that's where it comes into play. So this is not going to be as precise as the Elite, but you're going to get range out of it compared to this standard controller that it came with. Now, here's also one of the other things that's interesting about this controller. It is full matte. Fully matte. There's no glossy pieces. The only gloss starts when you get to the triggers and the bumpers and the sensor piece. But other than that, it's complete gloss. This is now black, as you can see. And it's just interesting because they were talking about the grips on the backs. Now, the grips on this, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell because it's white on white. Yeah, you can't really tell, but it's just like... And think of a pretty crappy representation of Braille. Like, there are, like, bumps molded into the grips, but they're not... It doesn't feel really grippy, is what I'm trying to say. It feels... I don't know, it's just interesting. And what's also different, I just noticed, is that the back piece, because you would usually have four mold pieces. You would have the front plate, you would have this piece that connects to the rest of this, you would have your back plate that extends to here, and then you would also have a separate mold that comes in through here. That is not on this controller. This back mold is all one single piece. So, and to show and compare, I actually have this guy, the white and gold controller. So you can see the difference in gloss versus matte. And then once we go to the back, actually this was a terrible representation because this is all one piece too. I think that was only on the first iteration of the controllers. Or I'm thinking of the 360 one. I can't remember. But this is a good comparison because this one is actually advertised with the actual rubber grips, kind of like you would get on the one controller, except for the Elite controller, they go all the way around the edge. So I will say that compared to the two, the grips on this are pretty lacking. Especially compared to, like, if you get one of these guys, or even the other colored controllers that have the grips, because this is actually like high density molded rubber, if it focuses. And you can actually feel it. It feels grippy. It doesn't feel like it's going to go out of your hands. It doesn't go all the way up here, kind of like this one, but it's kind of like not that noticeable. Besides, your fingers are what you're going to want to use to grip this anyways. So I feel like this is a better controller than the new one. Now, range-wise, this one is probably far better than this one. No guarantee, guaranteed. But grip and feel-wise, this one is supremely better than this one. So that's where I'm at on first impressions and holding them in my hands. Plus, I kind of wish they would have kept the colorblind on the controller buttons, because it just looks better. But that's just me. Besides, I'll be using my Elite controller most of the time anyways, so this controller will probably get handed off, taken apart, repainted, customized, all that kind of stuff. And then you also get batteries in the bag for the controller. So we are going to need this. Because I do need that 4K HDMI cable, because my computer's capture card and everything else that I have in it does 4K. Especially since it's VR ready. So gotta get ready for that. Now, the other side of this box, in this other compartment, we are going to get the power supply cable, because the power supply is built into the console. Thank God. That was the biggest issue with taking the console out of the living room, bringing it in here and trying to plug it up, was that you had the power brick and you had to figure out a way to feed it and set it right so it wouldn't get too hot, it wouldn't overheat on the carpet. It was a pain. Now it's built in. I hope it doesn't do anything crazy and it's fine. So we're also going to need this. But other than that, that's it for this box. But here's the other thing that I'm confused about, because it says that you get an Ethernet cable with it, but there's no Ethernet cable in my box. Or at least in this box. I would have thought it would have been in this box. But let's check and see. We'll set this off to the side, because we're not going to use the controller. Or at least not yet. And now going back into it, you can see that there's another box right here. And this is... oh, this is actually a lot larger than I thought. I thought it was just a small little box, but it's not. So, inside this, we have... a 2-week Xbox Live. I'm going to keep that. We also have an actual manual in different languages. And then what we actually want, the vertical stand. Now this, I would have thought, let's get this box out of here, would have been, well, no, I'll say it, it would have been lighter. Or it, and when I mean lighter, I thought it would have been composite, maybe a little, feels a little cheap, but this does not feel cheap. I mean, it's not exactly the heaviest thing in the world, but you can tell it's made to last, which is good, because that's what you want. Last thing you want is to like snap it in and fucking the pieces come off. It's got nothing on the front except where you slide it on and you snap it in, the extra edges, so looks better, I would imagine. And then on the back, you've got your Xbox logo, as well as more instructions on how to slide it in. So that's good. We're going to need this. And now we're going to get to the actual console. And here it is. So we're going to take off this side. Nothing inside. I'm still waiting to find this Ethernet cable. And then on this side, still nothing inside. So we'll set those over there. And here it is. It's actually packaged very nicely. Yes, I know. So it looks good. And we will open it up. Be careful. I don't want anything to happen to it. So here we go. there it is. Xbox One S. It's about as heavy as the Xbox One regular, but it is condensed. So that is interesting. Okay, so actually someone is calling my name right quick, so we're gonna go check and see what's going on. We will actually set this on the chair, but I will be right back. Biz. First piece. Feels good. So it's all matte, which is fantastic because no more fingerprints, none of that gunk, which is good. You have your little Xbox symbol up here at the top. Now it's a hole feature instead of the slanted air vents, which is nice. Big, huge open area for the fan because it's going to need it. And then you have your IR sensor. Your sync button is now a button like it was on the last one, but instead of being on the fucking side, it's on the front, which is fantastic. They've also moved the side USB to the front, which was also a good move. And then they've also changed the button. It's no longer touch, so my daughter can't just like go up, slide across it, and turn it on. It's actually, if you can hear it, it's a click, which I think is nice. Same with the eject button. The eject button is also a click. Very satisfying click. On the back, you have your standard ports. You have your HDMI in. Is that one in? No. That's HDMI out, HDMI in, USB 3.0, USB 3.0. This one is for the IR out. Now, IR out is what you're going to use for your Kinect. Now, if you want to use your Kinect with this, you're going to have to get another adapter. And I do believe the adapter is going to be like 30 or 40 bucks. So it's kind of like, well, you already spent money on the Kinect, and now you're going to have to get an adapter to use it with this. But I don't care, because I'm not going to use it on this, because this is going by my computer. Your optical, which is good for your headphones, or if you're going to output your optical audio to a surround sound or stereo system. And your Ethernet cable. All streamlined, not stacked up on top of each other. Perfect. No like weird gaps in between or anything like that. So it's nice. You got your row of vents. And then you have your power, which is good. Now we're going to stand it up. So it's going to go like this and be all nice and purty. And what you're going to do is on the bottom, on this side, there's two little holes. That's what you're going to slide this into. And when I say this, I mean this guy. So you're going to take it, line it up, put it on, and then with a very satisfying snap, it will be vertical. And I'm going to move the camera down so you can also see it as well. We're just going to pick it up. Oh, look at that. Perfection. So great, so nice. So here's the thing. Also, now that this is standing up, we're going to turn it this way. And with it standing up, you can also see on this side right here, you got the Xbox. It's fantastic. Now here's the thing. Because oh, I lied. So on the side, it does not come with an Ethernet cable, which I am supremely actually bummed about because the Xbox One came with an HDMI cable day one, and if I do remember right, the other ones after that also, not an HDMI, a Ethernet cable. They also came with an Ethernet cable. So this symbol right here is like the standard symbol for Cat5 or Ethernet, right? Because you got the thing, it's got the little piece, and then the same sized adapter. No, it's for the HDMI cable. So now I'm going to have to find an Ethernet cable. So that's upsetting. So right out of the box, I love it. It's fantastic. It's the exact size I needed. It's going to fit perfect. It's sleek. It's nice. No more external battery pack. Click buttons are great. Everything's laid out on the back. Cons. The controller feels like it could have been a little bit better to come out with a new console. 2, Ethernet cable. Where the hell is my Ethernet cable? But other than that, no qualms. It's fantastic. So we're also going to cut to later. I'm going to show you what it looks like fully set up and how I have it set up into my computer. But we will get to that in a little bit once I figure out how to get all this stuff rearranged and plugged in and looking good. And that's where I'm going to cut it for YouTube. Will, thanks for checking it out. If you're thinking about getting it for the reason that I got it, definitely do it. It's fantastic. But we are going to go to the movies and see Jason Bourne. So I'm going to go to the movies, watch Jason Bourne, then come back, then set this up. And then I'm going to have to shoot a new video to show how I have it set up and how it looks and everything. So that's it. Xbox One S unboxing. I dig it. I like it. 'Tis good. But I'm going to go because we're actually about to leave.